Well, hello, and it's a very dull and blowy day here at the chapel. Been cloudy all day, one of those days where it just seems like a miserable, but we're at the seaside, so it's not so miserable. In fact, these are the times that I like to get out, times that you wouldn't normally bother, times that you can sit at home, and it brings some colour to your cheeks, and you get your steps in. That's important. I think I mentioned before that I never meant to vlog like this. The channel was just mainly for family, friends, just to show some film and footage, and also for myself, and also because I was running out of space on the phone. But you get quite interested in it, and in a way it's a bit cathartic. I never meant to talk to the camera. I hate my voice, but while you're doing this, you're not thinking of anything else, and also probably making you more aware of where you live and how lucky you are. So with that said, cameras. I started using my phone, which is okay. You're a bit limited, but it depends what you're doing. And I bought the 360 Insta, which is great, but it's a bit like having a toolbox with one tool. It can be a bit faffy. You can get some great shots with it, and I use the long selfie stick, so you can do some sort of cheap drone shots. Both of those are okay, unless you've got a dog with you, and then sometimes you find you're pulled here and you're pulled there, and yeah, it can be a bit awkward. So I tried the DJI Neo, which I absolutely love. I never fancied a drone, never thought I'd have a drone, and in a way it isn't a drone, but it is. It's a teaser drone. Great for selfies, great for different views, different angles, higher up, and when you launch it, you've got that few minutes where I don't have to worry about George, whether he's pulling or whatever he's doing, swimming in the sea. Then it comes back and you're done. But again, it's like a tool in the toolbox. It's great. You need it? No. Is it good? It's great. It's brilliant. It's piqued my interest in drones, and I think in the future I probably will get a proper drone, and I look forward to that. So back to cameras. None of the three options I've mentioned were ideal just for doing what I'm doing now, walking and talking. And if I had my time over again, I'd have probably have spent my money a little bit differently. But this is filmed today on a new camera, a new tool in my war chest, the Insta360 Go 3S. This is the very first film with it, so you'll be able to tell me whether it looks good, whether it sounds good. A little bit noisy by the sea today, but that's the trial, really. That's the trial. See how we get on with it. I don't know if you know anything about the Insta360 Go 3S, but it's a small camera, pocket-sized camera. With it is a smaller camera, which you can mount on your chest, on your head. It's magnetic, so you can mount it on anything metallic. I'm just fiddling with George at the moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Which I think would be great, so I can put that on my chest, mount it, and I'm totally hands-free. So look after that piece. And I've not tried that yet, so I'm going to give that a go later on today, see how we get on with it. And I might do a couple of walk rounds, just popping into the co-op, do a bit of shopping, a bit of POV. It's just, I'll be able to go places where I'm not happy shoving a camera in people's face. I'm not completely happy with walking around with a camera. But sometimes, you know, I want to show you guys some interesting things. It's like going into the amusement arcades, going into different pubs. I can just stick this little camera onto my magnetic mount on the chest and away I go. And I hope you find that sort of stuff interesting. If not, let me know. So yeah, this is the first trial really of this, and it's ever so light, ever so small. Georgie's still pulling me, and I'm walking one-handed with him, but yeah, it's okay. And got to play around with the editing, but that is much like the 360. But this is not as faffy as the 360. It should be just straightforward, cut out any bits that I don't want to show, and maybe add a bit of music if the sound's really bad. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying this talking and walking. Don't know whether you are. Something else I wanted to say since I've moved here. Everyone's so goddamn nice. And I've been thinking about that a lot. I mean, it might be just moving from one county to another, different county, different people. But I think it's a bit more than that. It's a seaside resort. So anyone born here and bred here, lived here all their life, are used to a fair chunk of the year seeing strangers. Every week, every fortnight, different strangers in the pubs, in the shops. Strangers who are on holiday, and by and large are in a happy mood, happy place. They've come to where they want to be. Sometimes they'll come for 10, 20, 30 years to the same place, the same B&B, the same chalet, the same caravan, their own caravans. So this influx of people is changing every week, every fortnight. If you live here, you get used to that. So I'm not saying you've got a tolerance for strangers, but it's different. Different to living in a town, different to moving into a new town. Everyone I've met has been fantastic, and that's locals and newcomers alike. As newcomers have all got a story. The reason we decided to move to the coast, the reason why we moved to this particular part of the coast, and that's interesting. But people are always willing to talk about that, what they did in a different life, in a different work, and where they lived, and also what they left behind, if they left anything behind. And I find that interesting. People seem so open. Of course, having a dog helps. Walkers are renowned for meeting up, chatting, normally talking about the dogs, but it's what we do. But I read an article a few years ago, and it was about homelessness. And certainly since moving to this area, we see a little bit of homelessness and rough sleepers. And this article was about Blackpool in particular, the problems they had there with it. And the same with some people, when things go wrong in their lives, they go to where they were happy, maybe when they were children, and they can gravitate to the coast, thinking, it's wonderful, I love the seaside, sticks of rock, candy floss and donkeys on the beach. Of course, as an adult, it's not quite like that. It can be. But for most of us, we have to work and crack on with day-to-day living and real life. So you come here through whatever problem you've got going on in your life, you come to the coast where you are happy. It's very, very different to what you remember as a child. And I suppose the point I'm trying to make is that it is fantastic. It's a bit of a dream of mine to move to the sea, or be near the sea, and I'm here now and I love it. And I love it here because I know it, it's familiar. But for me that doesn't really matter. I just felt a sort of pull to come to the seaside, and it was the right move at the right time for me. But some people, you hear tales of, for whatever reason, they decide to move to the coast and it doesn't work out. Because sometimes you're leaving things behind that you don't necessarily appreciate. You might have a big family. You might have children and grandchildren. Could be 100 reasons. And it doesn't quite work out how you expect it's going to work out. So I don't know what the moral of that story is, but there's a dream for a lot of people of moving to the coast, moving to the seaside. And it is a dream, and it's a nice dream. It's a nice dream to have, and it's very achievable in lots of different ways. But is it what you really want? I'll leave that thought hanging in the air.